My name is Santos Lopez. I'm 26 years old and I'm a victim of sexual abuse. At the age of 12, I was molested numerous times by one of my dad's employees. It happened about 2 years it took, and that I was molested by him. Sometimes in my dad's shop, when my dad used to leave me alone with him. Sometimes when my dad left me with him at his house, where he forced intercourse to me. Also,
my name is Vicki Gray, and I am a clinical social worker. I hope that I've contributed in many ways, not just to the profession, but to the people that we serve as a result of being in this profession. But I believe that I am at this stage in my career giving back by mentoring that next group of social workers, working with a future generation of social workers, and reminding them of the importance of the core values of social work while really elevating social work to the next professional level. I'm not really sure if I chose the profession or if the profession chose me. For as long as I can remember, I have been drawn to people who seem to be suffering or less fortunate than myself. I can even remember as a child really being concerned and interested in the children who were separated or distanced from other kids. I feel this profession is so rewarding because you have the opportunity to impact people on such a real level. You have the ability to help them change, and you also have the opportunity to make social change today that can impact generations to come. I think one of the most touching stories that I have been a part of is working with parents who have lost children. I think that is such an intimate, private experience, and it's an experience that oftentimes is filled with incredible pain, but an opportunity for healing is rich. And I think as a social worker, there's an opportunity to provide hope in what would seem like an otherwise hopeless situation.
I had no idea of what was going on. I was very afraid. I didn't know who to tell, who not to tell, who to come to, and who not to come to. It was something that was very hard. I was always afraid. Never wanted to be with him alone. But unfortunately, as my dad being so busy and being such a busy man supposedly in his work, he always left me alone with him. The times that he did leave me alone with my brother there, my dad's worker used to send him away. And as I tried to go with my brother, he would not let me. And he was always tell me something, to let me stay there. Because I knew that if he was to tell my dad that I left the warehouse, I could have gotten in trouble with him. And my dad has always been the type of father where he believes anybody else besides us.
Anytime that you spend your professional life working on behalf or with others, I think there's value in it. I think it's very important for us to build the human capital in our community. And I see value in other professions such as economics or business or law. However, our primary role is to serve and build the human capital of our community, like I said. So to me, that's very rewarding. I've been in social work for about 18 years.
Okay. So
After my experience with the Peace Corps, I really felt very connected to the idea of working with the vulnerable. And so I chose to go and pursue my master's degree. I originally worked with the homeless population, but now my focus is on unaccompanied immigrant children. The most challenging is when you focus on unaccompanied immigrant children, particularly in this day and age where immigration policy is at the forefront of the policy conversation in Washington. There's very little conversation around unaccompanied immigrant children. It's mostly around single, undocumented persons, adult persons. So the challenge is to bring their issues and their needs to the forefront.
My name is Juliet Yadom. I'm 19 years old and I'm a victim of domestic violence. At the age of 14 is when I realized that my father would abuse my mother. Of course, a man that I'm supposed to love, it was hard to see the fact that what he was doing was wrong. It wasn't until that age is when I realized what he was doing, I had to get in the way. And me getting in the way, I got hurt. I had to put the pressure on myself because I had to help my mother. She wasn't strong enough to realize that what my father was doing was completely wrong. There would be fights every day for anything little, something very silly, that they would get into an argument, then my father would get upset and he would start pushing, start hitting punches. And 5 minutes later, acted like nothing happened. And growing up on that, it gets stuck to you because you realize that that's not okay. And so I would have to always fight for my mother and try to separate the fights, and I had to get in the way and help her out.
Well, as a professional social worker, it's more than 20 years now. I graduated with my master's degree in 1989 from Barry University. Before that, and this was back in the day, they called me a social worker doing the work that I was doing, but I really was not one. I investigated child abuse for over 3 years, doing things that a social worker should be doing things that I train social workers to do now. The biggest misconception about the social work field is that we get these public service sorts of jobs that pay poorly, that are the work of bureaucrats, perhaps, that don't have it's just not reflective of the richness and the excitement that I know this profession to be. It is a misconception.
In 2007, I dropped out of high school, and in that moment, that's where I met my social worker. I think she came in a perfect time because I was still going through the chaos with my father and me feeling that I needed to take care of my family. That, I was the rock and I was there and I had to be there for everybody and just forget about myself. And she made me realize that, I need to worry about myself and then take care of my family.
Thanks to my social workers, who the person that I am becoming now, discovering myself, it's helped me a lot. And I just happy to finally find someone that I can speak to and feel comfortable with and sharing my story with, who doesn't judge me and just makes me feel comfortable within me. I got a long road ahead, and I know I don't have to do it by myself.